welcome back to Uncover Your Magic, a guided microdosing transformation, the vlog. I am Julie, your microdosing mentor, and I'm super excited to be back with you here today to do the first of many episodes of myth busting around psychedelics, around psilocybin. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty because there's so much misinformation, disinformation out there on this topic, and I'm really excited to start with this very popular chart that you've probably seen on the internet that you are now going to see on the screen because of my awesome video editor, Emma, who I hope that you get the chance to meet. She makes my videos way more fun and entertaining and cool, and hopefully she can come on and share her microdosing experience with you someday. So this is a popular chart that we see all over the internet, and it's not a perfect chart, but we're going to break it down because people have a misconception that psychedelics are very dangerous, that psychedelics are very bad for you. And to get into that today, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of psychedelics, more about this idea of set and setting, which we covered in the first video, which is, what is microdosing? What does that even mean? And we're going to look at what's really true, right, based on science. And I know we want to think that the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, is also based on science. But when we break down this chart about toxicity and what it really means and how the DEA classifies these substances, we're going to see that it's maybe not all that accurate. And we've seen disinformation spread by the government before. So I'm not saying that they're not telling you the truth, but I am encouraging everyone to be curious and to keep an open mind and to look into science themselves. Like, don't just take my word for it. For sure, go read, go investigate. I would love to have a conversation with you. So if you look at this chart, it starts off with different bars, right? And both this bar, the top bar across the chart, and the bars going up and down that correlate to different substances have colors. So ignore the colors on the top bar where it says very non-toxic to approaching poison. And we're going to get into what toxicity means. But do pay attention to the colors when it comes to the DEA drug schedule. So that means how we are, how the government classifies those drugs, right? So green is something like alcohol, over the counter, unscheduled. If you're over 21, you can get alcohol. Sometimes when you were below 21, you got some alcohol. Whoops. But then we also have things like caffeine, right? Or even, I believe Tylenol's on this chart, and aspirin's on the chart too. Yeah, aspirin. Okay, so all of those things are unscheduled. So if you see a green bar, one of the bars, that means it's unscheduled. It's not regulated by the DEA. But if you look at Schedule 1 drugs, which are illegal and super dangerous, according to the DEA, those are red, right? So at the very bottom, we obviously have heroin, which, woof. But we also have things like psilocybin and LSD all the way at the top that are also Schedule 1 drugs labeled as illegal and highly dangerous by the DEA. But we're going to get into why that is not true. We have Nixon to thank for this. God bless him. Look, Nixon just really needed someone to throw him a bone, so he was willing to do whatever at that point in time. And we're going to dig into more of the history of psychedelics, but basically, popular culture, the hippie movement, counterculture would not have LSD and psilocybin if it were not for the CIA. The CIA introduced these substances. People decided they were amazing and mind-opening. They did not have the intended effects. It actually caused people to question the government and their motives and expand their consciousness more, which I'm sure the government didn't want. And, sequence of events, here we are. The government decided to label them as very dangerous and illegal. That is not true. Okay, now I want you to look at how far the bars extend out for each substance, right? So the bars that extend out really far, non-toxic. Toxicity means a substance's ability to kill you, right? So at the very bottom, heroin, woof. So many people overdose on heroin. Very dangerous. Please do not try. Gotta throw that out there. But if you look at only 4 bars up, we have alcohol. Unscheduled, over the counter, very easy to hurt you. It is so easy to get alcohol poisoning. And it doesn't frankly take that much alcohol to cause alcohol poisoning in your body. It's unscheduled. If you look up a few more, around halfway, you're going to see caffeine. That's right. Caffeine could also kill you in too high of a dose. It is a stimulant. Go a few more up, aspirin. Aspirin could kill you. And if you go just above that, okay, LSD and psilocybin, aka the active molecule in magic mushrooms that produces the auditory and visual effects. It would take 1,000 doses of that to kill you. It is highly, it's impossible. You could not ingest enough psilocybin or LSD to kill you, right? It is so incredibly non-toxic. Do you sometimes report having difficult trips? Yes, and that's because of set and setting. So to break that down right now, set and setting in the psychedelic community refers to your mindset and your environment when you partake with psychedelic substances. So if you are out partying in, especially in a space where you don't feel safe and you take LSD or you take psilocybin, yeah, you might have a bad trip. Why? Because when we are already on alert, right, when our nervous system already doesn't feel safe and rooted, and we take something that is really opening ourselves up, right, and relinquishing some of our perceived control because control is an illusion, that can cause a nervous system response where we feel really uncomfortable. So that's oftentimes why you hear reports of bad trips. And if you've had a bad trip, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. These substances definitely should be taken with the proper set and setting going into it. That's why in my program, Uncover Your Magic, a guided microdosing transformation, there's such a focus on your intention with using these substances. Even though you're not going to trip at all, like you do not trip when you microdose. Emma, can we make a big thing right now that says you do not trip when you microdose, just so everyone knows? Even though you're not going to trip, even though you are totally in control, it feels like maybe having a cup of coffee, you feel it much less than having a glass of wine or smoking marijuana. Even though all those things are true, it is still best to set an intention to optimize your mindset, which is also why there are so many tools in that program, right? Like meditation, hypnosis, breath work, journal prompts, so that all of the amazing benefits that we're also going to dig into on this blog that happen when you're microdosing are maximized. And when you're in a place that feels safe, which is why I encourage everyone in Uncover Your Magic to also create an intentional space either in or around their home. Sometimes people really love being outside when they take their dose. Um, you are also going to control for the possibility of a bad trip. So in clinical studies, it shows that when you control for set and setting, you make the possibility of a bad trip practically negligible. For that is so important. LSD and psilocybin psychedelics are not bad for you. They will not kill you. You are more likely to die from aspirin, from caffeine, from alcohol, and obviously heroin than you are to die from either of those substances. Why are these modalities then not unscheduled? Here's my personal belief. I would love to hear yours if you would like to share in the comments. I truly believe that these substances aren't unscheduled and they are so they're the focus of so much propaganda and vitriol because they are healing modalities, because they actually make people better sustainably, not in the moment, right? How many times have you had a hard day at work and just been looking for some relief and had a drink? I'm going to raise my hand with you. That drink will numb you out. That drink will help you avoid. That drink will not solve your problem. But you know what? You know who makes money off of you continuing to numb out? Alcohol companies. And you know who makes money from putting more band-aids on that which ails you, whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Pharmaceutical companies, food production companies that make that crappy food that we've been chow on. And I'm gonna raise my hand with you right here too. I've been on Prozac. I tried it. I found that it kind of made me feel better, but like in a very numbed out way, like apathetic and not myself. I eat for comfort. I'm not, this is not a shame game. Like I'm seriously right there with you. I feel you, I get you. You know what I have found to actually change my baseline, to actually raise my state of homeostasis and to genuinely make me feel better and process and release the things that would otherwise push me to drink or to eat or to take pills? microdosing. It is so powerful. It is so, so powerful. And the fact that these substances are so non-toxic, the fact that they can be safely administered, especially in microdosing, like you are not going to trip. You are not going to be at risk of hurting yourself or others. You can operate heavy machinery. You can do more microdosing than you can on Benadryl. The fact that that's true, but this continues to be a Schedule 1 substance that the government tells us is illegal and dangerous is highly suspect in my mind. There's just not money to be made off of it. No one's making money off of microdosing. And when I say that, obviously I run my business facilitating guided microdosing, but I'll tell you what I tell everyone in the program. You're not supposed, I don't want you to have to microdose for the rest of your life. I don't microdose all the time. And we're going to get into protocols and all things like that in other videos too, but there are, there are required breaks between protocols. And the way I like to explain it to people is like you are climbing a ladder when you microdose, right? So you're climbing a ladder, you're making improvements in your mental state. And if at any point you decide you don't want to do it or you don't want to continue on with another protocol right away, cool. You still climbed the ladder. You climbed 7 steps or however many steps in your experience. You got better. You actually got better. You changed yourself. You healed yourself. And when I say you got better, I mean you returned to like your most natural state, right? You let go of all the bullshit of the world because I believe that everyone is born worthy, whole, and complete. And we simply get to remember that after being told otherwise probably every day of our lives since, since comprehension, because your subconscious forms from the ages of 0 to 7. So when you come back to yourself, you actually make progress. Whereas when you take Prozac or something, right, you might feel better when you're taking it, but that's why it's so important to titrate off those substances slowly, controlled with the doctor's supervision, because if you don't, you totally fuck with your neurochemistry and you lose all the progress either way. This modality is sustainable. I don't microdose all the time. I'm not currently on a microdosing protocol. I'll probably revisit it at the beginning, maybe of the next couple of weeks, but I haven't been on one in a while because, I do it when I feel called. I do it when I have a clear intention and I'm ready to take the next step toward my healing. And that's the thing, like you can microdose up to 8 protocols or like, 8 30-day periods in a year. You don't probably need to, and you don't probably want to. And I don't want you to microdose for the rest of your life. I want you to just feel better and move on. And that's my hope for everyone, not to have you do it day in and day out. So that's what I mean when I say there isn't money to be made in microdosing, right? Although this is my business model, like I'm never going to be at the big pharma level because that's to me screams lack of sustainability, lack of integration. And my whole thing is sustainability and integration. I am not here to sway you one way or the other. I am here to share information, my interpretations, my best guesses, my synopsis of different research, to break down these charts you see on the internet. But really the choice is yours. And I don't think you're ever going to hear a pharmaceutical company tell you what I just told you, which is my goal is that you don't always take this for the rest of your life. Right? They want you to keep taking it because that's how they keep making money. This is such a beautiful practice. And if you're interested in learning more about going through a guided microdosing transformation, please feel free to reach out. It is so powerful to be guided. Maybe I'll break that down in my next video. Why be guided? Why be intentional with this process? But Uncover Your Magic, a guided microdosing transformation is such a potent program. I get testimonials every single day from people who have had beautiful revelations, clearings, healings. Just yesterday, I received a message from someone who said she completely healed her money mindset. She felt like she had stepped finally out of scarcity and into abundance. And she just felt transformed. And that's what it's all about. Healing. Healings are our guys. Okay. Till next time, have a magical day. Mwah.